Coming up on Mountain News this morning, 3 men charged in connection to Amber Spradlin's murder appeared in court for a bond reduction hearing. Plus, educators are recruiting future generations of teachers, but your local school might still be facing a teacher shortage.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Madison Carmouche. We're inching up to that 6:30 mark this Friday morning. Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmall for a look at your forecast. Megan, we're almost to Halloween, we're almost to November. It's just, and the temperatures don't match that.
The temperatures don't match that at all, do they, huh? I mean, today we have temperatures up to the upper 70s, some places even getting to the 80s. So definitely not matching this almost November. But as we look at those current temperatures, this is kind of what we're expecting to see as we're waking up, right? We have those 30s and the 40s. Clintonwood even seeing about 32 degrees this morning. So that's more in line with what we normally see this time of year, but now what's not? Those highs. We're seeing upper 70s in a lot of places, could even surpass that 80-degree mark. 83 for Irvin and Monticello, 82 for Manchester and Somerset, and 81 for London and Williamsburg. So definitely a warmer day. We do have that front coming through that will be dropping the temperatures for your weekend. Saturday and Sunday both will be in the low 60s with that chance of rain following into your Saturday. But the next couple hours today will continue to warm up to that high temperature. Sunrise will be at 7:52 a.m. and I'll have your bus stop forecast in just a couple of minutes. Madison.
All right, Megan, thank you. The men charged in connection to the murder of Amber Spradlin appeared in court yesterday. WYMT's Buddy Forbes shares what happened at the hearing.
Summer of 23, murder occurs.
Michael M.K. McKinney, his father Dr. Michael McKinney, and friend Josh Mullins appeared in court Thursday. All 3 men faced 8 charges of complicity to tamper with physical evidence in connection to the murder of Prestonsburg woman Amber Spradlin. And M.K. is charged with her murder.
We think that there is ample evidence to demonstrate that he is unstable and dangerous.
While Mullins and Dr. McKinney made bail, M.K. remains in custody on a $5 million cash bond, which his attorneys argue is excessive.
We're not asking for an unsecured bond or his own recognizance. We are prepared today to post a $1 million property bond with the same conditions that the court had initially said.
Stephen Romines, one of M.K.'s attorneys, also proposed a $500,000 cash bond, saying M.K.'s pretrial risk assessment indicates he is not a danger to the community and is not a flight risk.
The rumor mill of this had been more than he could actually deal with. He was working with that more than he was the investigation. So he has known this was coming, and yet he was in his apartment when they came to arrest him.
Commonwealth's attorney Brent Turner says the assessment should not be considered, arguing the DNA evidence and interviews provided to the court show a different side.
That risk assessment was something that was concocted in Frankfurt many years ago by people whose goal it is to keep everyone out of jail so the state doesn't have to pay for it. It is severely biased toward releasing everyone if possible.
Turner says the DNA, which is a match to the McKinneys, and testimony about his mental state should be enough to hold him, with attorneys saying the remaining DNA evidence could take more than 1 year.
As long as we may have to wait to get evidence back, if he's sitting in jail that entire time, that's a miscarriage of justice, because it's not his responsibility to do this testing.
Romines said he would like to interview KSP Detective Wireman about the reliability of some of the information.
All this stuff that they've referred to, it came from him. I want to be able to ask him about it.
It came from the police report that's laid out. They have his statement from Roy Kidd where he says all of this. There's absolutely nothing that Detective Wireman can testify to that they don't already know. They just want to try to go and fish around and ask about some other things.
Judge Eddie Coleman says he will reach a ruling on the bond reduction request in the days to come, and the men are all expected back in court February 27th. In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain.
If released on bond, Romine says MK McKinney would be placed on home incarceration in a different home than his father, and Mullins and he say the defense may request a speedy trial if it comes to that. One person is dead after an incident in Rockcastle County. The Rockcastle County Sheriff's Office confirmed it happened yesterday morning at a rock quarry off Highway 150. Police say a passenger car hit a loader at the site. Police say the driver, 39-year-old Robert Rodas of Lexington, died as a result. The operator of the front end loader was not hurt. The man involved in a collision which resulted in another man being killed in Pulaski County appeared in court Wednesday. Larry Stoll appeared in court for a preliminary hearing along with being charged with the murder in the incident which led to Chester Dick's death. He was charged with driving on a DUI suspended license. We are told probable cause was found on the murder charge and that the case will now be heading to a grand jury. In Pulaski County, a man is facing charges related to child pornography. 28-year-old Tyler Vaught was arrested as a result of an Internet Crimes Against Children investigation. It started when KSP's electronic crime branch discovered Vaught had been sharing sexually explicit images of a young child online. He was taken to the Pulaski County Detention Center. A Laurel County man is facing charges after he tried to get away from police. Police were called out to a home off Kentucky 490 Wednesday afternoon regarding a domestic complaint. Police discovered David Castile trying to get away from police and went into a home. Castile was later found hiding in a closet in a bathroom. He was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. We have new information about the suspect in a robbery investigation in Whitley County. Deputies say Wednesday a man robbed 3 people in the parking lot of an old Granny's country store on Highway 26. They say the man pulled out a gun and took money from the trio. He is described as a white man with a slim build, about 6 feet tall, with dark shoulder-length hair and a beard. Anyone with information should call Whitley County's non-emergency line at 606-549-6017. The cost of Hurricane Helene in North Carolina has reached more than $50 billion in damages. Governor Roy Cooper announced the new estimate at $53 billion. That number is triple the $17 billion in damage done by Hurricane Florence in 2018. State lawmakers are set to return to Raleigh for a brief session where they are expected to debate another disaster relief bill. Crews at the Cumberland Gap National Historical Park are still working to clean up after Hurricane Helene. So far, park staff, along with a 12-person Sawyer task force, have cleared more than 500 trees from about 10 miles of trails. They are focusing on clearing trees to improve access to the park's backcountry and wilderness area. Most of the park's buildings appear undamaged, although the Pinnacle restrooms did sustain substantial damage. Officials have announced a traffic alert for a section of the Mountain Parkway. Starting next Thursday, a lane switch has been scheduled in the Wolfe County area from mile marker 49 to mile marker 56. Traffic heading both directions will shift over to newly constructed eastbound lanes. At mile marker 56 before exit 57, the traffic will then split to proceed along the 4-lane divided highway. Officials say the switch will be in effect for several months. Right now, many school districts in Kentucky are facing teacher shortages, and they say few applicants are interested in openings. Some educators say applicants' numbers are down for positions in math, science, and special education. To help districts find potential teaching candidates, Asbury University hosted Educators Rising.
We have about 200 of them. Most interestingly, we have some here from as far away as Knott County. Those students got on a bus this morning at 6 o'clock and rode up here to participate in today's event.
Asbury University officials say the goal of Educators Rising is to recruit more teachers, but also keep people in their home communities.
We're going to look at that satellite and radar right now and see that it's quite clear. Not much is going on. However, that's not the story for this afternoon, as a front will be pushing through our area and bringing some rain chances. But for right now, those temperatures are going to look nice and cool in the 30s and 40s. 32 for Clintwood, 37 for Hazard, and a little bit warmer as you're heading to Prestonsburg, 44, and Monticello over at 48 degrees. We will be warming up into those forecast highs, though, really seeing the upper 70s with some areas potentially even getting to that 80-degree mark. But as you're heading off to the bus stop today, temperatures will be about 45 degrees as you're on your way to school. Nice and clear skies, and as you're heading home, it'll be about 78 degrees. Madison.
Thanks, Megan. With the fall season well underway, you may start to notice more and more insects getting into your home. Experts say pests like stink bugs, Asian lady beetles, western conifer seed bugs, and box elder bugs can be common sights inside homes in our area around this time of year. Many of them are just trying to escape the cold and find somewhere a bit warmer to hide out, but there are things you can do to keep these bugs out of your home.
Call this pest proofing of homes. So things like making sure that your window screens and door screens fit well, that your door sweep is doing the job on the bottom of the door. If you have holes in your screens, now's a good time to replace those screens.
After you have done that, you can also do an insecticide treatment around the outside of your home. Yesterday, the Pikeville area YMCA hosted its annual Safe Kids Halloween event at the Appalachian Wireless Arena. The event invited FMD students from Pike County and Pikeville schools to experience a fun, safe, sensory-friendly trick-or-treat event on the arena floor. The event caters to differently abled students who may otherwise not feel comfortable at a traditional trick-or-treat event.
And a lot of these kids don't get to experience that because those sensory issues, it does kind of limit them what they can and can't do in regards to what their disabilities may be. And so for actually to have this and have this opportunity for those kids to come out and have that experience just the same as everybody else in a safe environment.
The event is a quieter, quicker version of last night's Nightmare on Main. Thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:40. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. WYMT pulls back the curtain on the life and legacy of Harlan native and Kentucky Pro Football Hall of Famer Larry Kirksey in the love for the game.
Stop.